Hey, it's Cameron, and welcome to the practice log. It's a morning session. The morning sessions are some of my favorite. I'm always really fresh. My voice is a little raspy today, I don't know if you can tell. I did just wake up. We have a lot to do today, as usual, so let's go ahead and jump into it, shall we? Alright, back to the old grind. Feels pretty good. So let's see what we have to do today. This is the first morning session of the week. Happy morning, everybody. It's like every other day is a holiday, because every other day there's a morning session. Imagine being me, I actually have a morning session every day. Whoa, that's gotta be cool. I'm a lucky guy, I do admit it. You know what? It's the start of a week, so I'm just gonna work on whatever I want. I always play what I focused on the most, so we'll see then. But I will tell you that I'm working on BWV 1001. All 4 movements, I'm working on all 4 of them now. So Presto will probably be a big part of that. That, and then the Soar Mozart variations, and that's it. We're coming in hot on that Presto. It's pretty exciting stuff. That's what I'm doing, basically the same stuff as usual. Let's go into the fun part, where I answer some comment questions. Okay, so this is a hardball of hardballs. This is an essay topic right here. So, thank you for that. This one is posted by Romuloromano. Hey, what's up? Alright, so here's what he said. Great channel, Cameron. Yeah, man, speaking my language, thank you so much. Greetings from Europe, greetings from America. I mean, I don't want to disclose too much about my location, but that's cool, man. That's where most of my music comes from. I'm at present a few miles from where Bach was born. That's really close to where a lot of my music comes from. A question. Are the pieces that you play timeless abstract art to you? Or are you also interested in the cultural backgrounds, the context they originate from? For example, Bach, 18th century Germany, Latin guitar, 19th, 20th century Spain. That's a wonderful question. That's a question I'm gonna have to answer many times over in these practice logs to eventually come to an eloquent answer. So of course I appreciate the music that I play as just abstract pieces of art. And a lot of classical musicians not only feel the same way, but think that that is kind of the only way to appreciate music, especially classical music. And I found, because I've been around academia, I went to school, I feel like a lot of people feel when you add some sort of story to the music, that kind of cheapens it. Now, what you're talking about isn't necessarily story, you're saying historical context, like the people who wrote it. I am interested in learning about the composers and the historical context and all that. Not only because it's just important and enriching to learn that with the pieces, I think it also adds a really interesting story to the music that I'm working on. And that's kind of what I'm all about. I'm not sure if you noticed that. I am constantly trying to tell some kind of story and make what I do every day, which is practicing, more interesting through that. I mean, that's why we watch videos. That's why I exaggerate everybody's personalities. That's kind of my whole goal here, because I find it fun. It's fun for me to do that. And in turn, I imagine it would be fun for other people to watch, because I feel like I don't really see much of that, in the classical world. Because there are a lot of really interesting, funny characters in this world that we live in. So I'm just trying to draw attention to it and make them even funnier and more ridiculous. So yes, the context and historical background matters to me a lot. And it matters to me not only for just the historic value, but also the storytelling value. That's really powerful. I think that's part of the reason why classical in general is losing popularity and losing funding. Nobody wants to go to a symphony concert. I'll tell you this, in the last city that I lived in, I had season passes for the symphony, and there were 2 different shows. There was the classical classics, and then pops, which were usually just movie scores. Everybody was going to the movie score one. Honestly, I think film scores are kind of saving the classical world, and the orchestral world especially. That's where the money is, because there's a story behind it. It just makes it more accessible for everybody to latch onto the story and then appreciate the music. And I believe that you're still able to appreciate the music after the story. There are so many Leonard Bernstein lectures where he talks about that, where he's just listen to the music just for the sake of the music. Don't add any story to it or anything. But I don't know, I just don't agree with that. I do think that at a certain place in your musicianship, you will get to that point where you can appreciate a piece of art for the art's sake. I think that's a place you have to get to by first creating this web of context that we have to look at everything through. When I first heard classical music for the first time, I had no context for listening to it, and adding a story gives you context immediately without having to spend a lifetime listening and understanding classical music. One of the most powerful examples of context in music and modern music. Look at the top 40. Have you listened to the top 40 recently? Man, it's bad. It sounds really bad. It's not good music. Why do people like it? It's because of the characters. It's because of the context and what the people are doing, and they're interesting. That's how powerful context can be. You can take really crappy, uninteresting music and make it the most popular music in the world, just with a good story. So if that were more of a thing in classical, I think it would probably be more popular. And I was talking about top 40 chordy music like it's crappy, which a lot of it is, but like keep in mind, I also like pop music too. Like there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not trying to be like an elitist. That's kind of the issue I'm talking about, people being elitists. But I'm just trying to show like how powerful a story can be. I do believe the story only enhances the musical experience. Just like how I think a poem is only enhanced by being put to music, and I don't think the music detracts from the poem, and I don't think the poem detracts from the music. I think they enhance each other and they make it more accessible, which is really the name of the game when it comes to this kind of music. People love making it inaccessible for some reason. I don't understand why that is the go-to. It seems like people just want their thing and they don't want anybody else to do it. The issue is when nobody else does your thing isn't going to be funded and you won't be able to do your thing nearly as easily anymore. You don't want that. You want everybody doing your thing. So that's my rant right now. I'm gonna cut it off there. There's a lot to say about this though. I kind of added in my own like storytelling context. You're talking about historical context, I know that. But I feel like it all kind of melds together. This is a really interesting topic, really interesting discussion to have. So please, if you have anything to add or if you disagree, comment about it and we'll kind of continue this one, sort of like the Bream versus Williams debate. I'd love to have this discussion in the chair going forward. All right, I think we can wrap it up there. So let's jump Bach into the Bach. Okay, of course we're starting with the Bach. I'm gonna do things probably how I should. I'm gonna start with the Adagio, and I'm just gonna play it really slow, real loose, so I can then go into the fugue. We'll see what goals I set. I don't know what they are yet. I guess just mainly try to get through the presto so I can go ahead and move on. But yeah, I'll see you on the other side. So, how about this? Let's jump into some music. I'm gonna play the Adagio for you, because it's been a while since I played that. I mainly worked on the presto today. I did work a bit on the Adagio, so, you know, we'll see how that's coming along. Alright, and that was the Adagio. That's enough practicing for one section of the session. Let's go to the computer and do something else for a while, shall we? I say we go back into that Key of Bach video and give it another chance. Let's do it. See, this is why I wanted to go back into it. The Unknown Maiden. Let's hear about this. Give me some drama, please. God, I bet if you were the organist at some church like 300 years ago, you were probably like so sought after.
By what right he recently caused the Unknown Maiden to be invited into the choir loft and let her make music there.
Oh yes, the sweetest of music, I'm sure. Yeah, come on, Bach. Yeah, give me some of that. Wow, this feels like a Sore Hands video, getting a lot of feet and leg action here.
Who was she? We may never know.
We may never know, like we'll ever know. Maybe if we get time machines, we'll know.
But the timing suggests she may have been Maria Barbara, his second cousin.
Classic composer move right there. That's a Rachmaninoff moment.
Whom he married the next year.
Oh, I guess we probably do know. Unless Bach is like sleeping around. I mean, he might be. Dude, if I were Bach. Wow, Bach really knows how to take someone out. He got all the berries, strawberries, he got the croissant. Oh yeah. We get it, Bach is the man. Alright, moving on.
Children.
Naturally, children comes next. Let's just say Bach was better at pulling out the stops than anything else. Ah. Don't just jump scare me with a child like that. Ah! Oh my god, dude, stop. What are you guys doing? It's so jarring every time. Don't do another one. Ah!
Maria Sophia.
Where are you finding these kids? What is this? Oh, these are all Bach's children. They're saying the names of them. Okay, I get it now. This dude's tearing up that C major minuet, bro.
Leopold Augustus.
Oh, this is gonna be a long segment too. He had a ton of kids. No!
He had 20 children. Only
Oh, let's go through them all. Why not? You couldn't find 20 children to film? Why not?
10 reached adulthood.
I'm making jokes. That's a sad thing. It was a long time ago, though. You know, that's like kind of how things were. Yeah.
The Little Organ Book.
I think that's enough Bach video for now. Let's go ahead and get back to practicing, because I think I'm ready to do that. So, I'll see you there. Alright, back into this. I'm going to start with the Soar Mozart variations, because I need to work on that. And then we'll work a bit on the Siciliana, maybe finish up the Presto, and then we'll call it a day. Alright, I think I'm about ready to call it a day. So, I'm going to play a little something for you. Let me bring you closer. Oh, I'm just going to play the first half of the Siciliana for you. I've been working a bit on that, just trying to get it all down. I'm also working on memory for these two. I'd like to have the Adagio and Siciliana memorized really soon. Here's where it is now. was the Siciliana, the first half of it. I'll play the second half at some other point this week. Let's go ahead and call it a day here. Well, hopefully you enjoyed that. We covered a lot of interesting stuff today. Yeah, and if you made it this far, be sure to subscribe, leave a like. That's all appreciated. And if you have a question about anything, feel free to ask it. Or if you want to add anything to today's question, that would also be really great. I'm sure we can reopen this question at a later date, especially if a lot of people contribute to it. Yeah, alright, well, we can pretty much wrap it up here. I'll see you tonight.